You ever notice how some people just don't post? No selfies, no birthday uploads, no vacation albums. In a world where everyone documents everything, they stay silent. Why? Is it insecurity or something else entirely? Here's the strange part. The people who post the least often seem the most steady, and that contrast says more than you think. Picture this. It's Friday night, a packed restaurant downtown, music loud, glasses clinking, everyone leaning in for the perfect group photo. Phones out, angles adjusted, filters selected. There's always one person who smiles for the picture, but never uploads it. Later that night, the group chat explodes. Tags, mentions, stories, their profile, still quiet. Level 1, surface behavior. They don't announce their lives. They don't perform milestones. They don't curate highlight reels. And if you're honest, you've probably wondered what that means. Are they shy? Private? Detached? But here's the part no one talks about. Not posting isn't always about fear of being seen. Sometimes it's about not needing to be. Think about the last time you hesitated before sharing something online. You checked the lighting, rewrote the caption, wondered who would see it and who wouldn't. That small spike of tension? That's your nervous system responding to evaluation. Social media isn't neutral. It activates the same reward circuitry as gambling. Dopamine rises when you anticipate likes. Cortisol rises when you anticipate judgment. Most people ride that loop daily, but some people opt out, and this is where it gets interesting. Psychologists call it stimulation threshold. Some brains crave high external feedback, noise, reactions, validation. Others regulate better with less. For someone with a lower stimulation threshold, constant online exposure feels draining. Not exciting, not rewarding, just noisy. So they don't post. Not because they lack confidence, but because they don't need that particular kind of input. Imagine walking into an office meeting where everyone's talking over each other, pitching ideas fast, competing for airtime. Some people thrive there. Others observe quietly, speak once, and mean it. Online behavior mirrors that difference. Posting frequently often aligns with an external locus of evaluation, where feedback shapes identity. Posting rarely can reflect an internal locus, where identity feels stable without external confirmation. That doesn't mean one is superior, but it does mean they're wired differently. And this might surprise you. Research on self-concept clarity shows that people who feel secure in who they are tend to broadcast less. When your sense of self isn't fluctuating, you don't feel compelled to update the world about it. You don't need proof. You don't need applause. You just are. Think about Thanksgiving dinner. Someone across the table is already uploading a candid shot before the pie hits the table. Another person is just there, fully present, phone face down, absorbing the moment. Two different nervous systems. Two different validation loops. One relies on reflection from others. The other generates stability internally. But that's not the real reason some people stay invisible online. There's a deeper layer. People who avoid posting photos often understand the digital illusion. They know feeds are curated. They know comparison creeps in silently. They've felt that subtle drop in mood after scrolling through filtered vacations and perfectly posed couples. So they reduce exposure. Not out of bitterness, out of awareness. Social comparison theory explains how we measure our worth against others' highlight reels. For some, limiting participation protects mental clarity. And here's the identity shift. Silence online isn't always insecurity. Sometimes it's emotional regulation. Sometimes it's boundaries. Sometimes it's strength disguised as absence. They don't need to perform happiness, they prefer to experience it. They don't reject connection, they just choose depth over display. In dating apps, they might respond thoughtfully instead of broadcasting thirst traps. In group chats, they read more than they type. In life, they move quietly, but intentionally. What looked like avoidance might actually be discernment. What looked like invisibility might be self-possession. So the next time you see a profile with barely any photos, don't rush to interpret it as social anxiety or low confidence. Ask a different question. What if they simply don't measure their existence by visibility? What if peace feels better than performance? Maybe not posting isn't about hiding. Maybe it's about not needing to be watched. And maybe the loudest confidence is the kind that doesn't announce itself at all.